I thought it would be valuable to share some insights I had today when I was having a conversation with a good friend of mine. This particular individual I've known for probably 10 years, and when I first met him, he was flying high. He was heavily involved in real estate, making a boatload of money, living the life, quote unquote, and went through a bit of a transition period. And the last 10 years has really changed. He's changed his life, he's changed his business, he's struggled, he's in a place right now where he's going through a low point. And having a conversation with him today, I was just checking in to see how he's doing. He's a good friend of mine. He was a mentor to me for many years at the beginning of our relationship. And we get into this conversation, not intentionally, but about focus. The conversation spurred and started to talk about focus because he's involved in a bit of a sales gig right now, trying to start a business, and he's having a hard time because of what he's telling himself and because of what he's focusing on. He's focusing on, rejection. And the reason I wanted to talk about this is because when he used the word rejection, it really chimed home to something that I struggled with in my past as well. I was worried about, what would go wrong? What if the person said no? What if I tried that opportunity and I failed? What if I asked her out on a date and she said no? What if I tried to launch a product and the market didn't receive it? And instead of taking action and instead of moving myself forward and focusing on why should I focused on why I shouldn't. And during this conversation today, I realized that a lot of people do this. A lot of people focus on the reasons why not. So just make sure if you're, about to launch a business or in a business or starting a new business line or taking on a health challenge, maybe you're signing up for your first marathon and you're telling yourself I don't know if I can do this. This is crazy. What if I get a fracture? What if I break my toe? What if I get sick? What if I can't do it? What if I don't meet my expectations? If you are a salesperson or if you've got some targets in your business and you're I don't know how we're going to do this. This is crazy. There's no way we can do this. Understand that what you focus on, what you say to yourself internally or out loud, you start to believe it. You start to manifest and create things that are going to support that environment. So if you have an environment of fear, if you have an environment of doubt, then you will create that place of fear and doubt. You will manifest it. If something happens and an opportunity presents itself, instead of seeing that opportunity for the benefit, you may push it away and say, no, it's too expensive, it's too risky, the timing's not right, I'm not good enough. And just understand what you're focusing on, because through this conversation I had with my friend, I got him to quantify, okay, so you're doing sales and most of it's done initially through cold calls or through phone calls on a warm market. Okay, awesome. So how many phone calls have you made to prospects? Phone calls? And he starts laughing. He's like, maybe 10? Which means that he's been texting and emailing and Facebook messaging the rest because it's more palatable, because there's less chance of rejection, because you don't feel it and hear it in that very moment. But it's not doing anything to support his vision. It's not doing anything to support his dream. And what he realized through the conversation of telling me is that 1 person out of 10 had said no and had gotten mad at him and kind of berated him and shamed him. And what he determined through talking back and forth is that he berated the opportunity. It actually had nothing to do with my friend at all. He was mad because the company he was involved with selling was affiliated with somebody that this person didn't like. So simply by association, this company and my friend were blackballed. And this guy took it out on him and was like, shame on you, how could you sell their product? That's crap, you're a criminal. And he went off on this tangent and paralyzed his ability to keep moving forward. Or I should say, he let it paralyze himself. And through talking, he's a very smart guy, but even smart people can get stuck in their head and they can start to believe a story that isn't true. And through this conversation, he discovered that, 1 out of 10, 10%, is way too high of a percentage of people that are going to reject him and that people are going to get mad and be like, I can't believe you'd present me with this opportunity. He figured it was closer to 2%. Meaning that if he called 100 people, 500, 1,000 people, just like flipping a coin, the more you do it, the better you get to the statistical probability of 50% heads, 50% tails. So he figured if he called 1,000 people, that 2% would actually reject him or get mad at him and berate him. And of that 2%, almost all those people would berate him or say no because of things outside of his control, because of reasons that had nothing to do with him. Maybe they were stressed, maybe they didn't have any money, maybe the timing was wrong, maybe they just got in a fight with their wife, maybe they just lost their job. You have no idea. So we went through this conversation and basically I just helped him realize that he was focusing on a 2% reason not to do something instead of the 98% reason to do something. And I want you to think about that for a second because he's not the only one. I've done it in my life in the past, and I'm sure you've done it too. So think about that. What are you really focusing on? Are you focusing on the small possibility that something may not work out? Or the massive opportunity that something will work out? And even if the odds are not 2% and 98% in your circumstance, they're probably not as dire as you're making them out to be in your head. Because we always build it up in our head far worse than it actually is. So what I suggest you do if you find yourself in this situation, maybe you're not going to the gym because you're embarrassed about your weight or you're embarrassed about your fitness level, so you're not even signing up for that group class because you don't even want to be around other people who might judge you. Write down all of your fears. Everything in that 2%. What's going to happen? What is the worst possible outcome? They say no. They shame you. They humiliate you. They make fun of you. Okay, write it all down. Now you've got the boogeyman out. And then ask yourself, do you really want to associate with those kind of people anyway? Do you really want to be involved with an investment or some kind of group or a fitness trainer or a job or a work environment or friends or family that would ridicule you, shame you, that would, poke fun and laugh at you because you took a chance? I'm willing to bet the answer is no. So if there's a small percent chance that it's going to fail, and there's a big chance that you don't even want to be associated with those people, I actually strongly urge you to thank them. Because as you go through this opportunity, and as you keep doing this in your life, you will effectively start to weed out the people, the situations, the organizations that you don't even want to be involved with, which just makes more time and more opportunity for the things that you do want to be involved with. And I'm also willing to bet that you're going to learn a lot about yourself along the way. So there's a no risk opportunity here. Worst case scenario, somebody says no to you. You're in sales and you're nervous because you're selling a product. If you really believe in that product, if you have a system in place, if you're not just randomly calling people, and you don't have you're all scattered, you need to have a system in place. You got to go through your product, make sure you understand what separates you in the marketplace, understand what kind of value add, understand your script, understand your pros and cons, the entire buyer cycle. Is it a short buyer cycle? Is it a long buyer cycle? Are you not even patient enough?